Setenil is a portrait of symbiosis between humans and nature. A city with houses that have a unique and attractive style and architecture. The houses in this place were built not by removing rocks, but by utilizing the available natural cavities. These houses were built under basalt rock cliffs, so most of the roofs in Setenil are made of natural stone, giving the impression that the houses are one with nature. Large rocks hanging over the streets create winding roads between the rock crevices. Meanwhile, houses painted white and dazzling also seem to emerge from the rocks, and some of them have stone roofs and even olive gardens on their roofs. The city of Setenil, located in Spain, is another name for Setenil de los Bodegas, a small town located in the province of Cadiz, in the autonomous community of Andalusia. The city stretches along the Rio Trejo path, with some houses built into the rock walls like caves, enlarged by adding walls on the outside of the cliff. The Rio Trejo River becomes a wall and roof for the residents. As a rock city, the most impressive feature of Setenil is the large rocks that jut into the beautiful white houses. The city was intentionally built in the middle of basalt rock cliffs, so many buildings in Setenil are located under or between rock cliffs. Therefore, it is no wonder that Setenil is called a city squeezed by rocks, since most of its houses are located under rocks. Local residents have been living in these rock-squeezed houses for centuries. They chose to stay in these houses because they adopt the traditional way of Arab residents when they lived underground or in caves. During the summer, buildings like this have a cool atmosphere, while during the winter, the temperature is not too cold. The main street in Setenil is called Calle Cuevas, named so because this street was built under a large rock slab that juts out, so it doesn't get sunlight. This beautiful street is home to many cave restaurants flanked by large rocks and a stunning river. Setenil also has a street named Sol Street, a street in the outer area of the city that offers views outside the cliff that receives sunlight. Setenil is also known as Pueblos Blancos, which means White Town, because all buildings in Setenil are painted white and dazzling when hit by sunlight. In addition to Setenil, there are also 19 white painted towns or villages that adorn many hills in Andalusia, in southern Spain. The choice of white color is not just to present an attractive architectural style, but also related to the dark and long history that occurred in the southern tip of Spain. It is mentioned that these towns began to acquire their distinctive characteristics during the Islamic era, and historians often refer to the 14th century Islamic scholar Ibn Khaldun, who explained the method of making white paint from extracted lime. Lime is also believed to help keep houses cool during the summer in Andalusia and can kill bacteria that cause cholera. It is said that a series of epidemics hit the region between the 1st and 19th centuries, starting from cholera and yellow fever outbreaks. The houses were then painted white, made from slaked lime and lime extract, as a way to protect against disease. After surviving from disease year after year, some cities slowly transformed into clean and shiny white towns, and until now, these white towns have been preserved in southern Spain. Although everything has ended, the community still exists and continues to preserve the tradition of white towns, which has become a cultural pride. The traditional lime whitewashing technique received UNESCO recognition in 2011. The Lime Museum, located in southeastern Seville, teaches visitors about the artisanal production process. Currently, there is also a campaign to recognize the tradition of white towns as intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO, along with traditional beliefs, customs, and skills such as dancing, preparing food, and handicrafts that are inherent to the culture and place. The area of Setenil de los Bodegas has been inhabited for at least 2,000 years, during the Roman invasion and occupation in the 1st century AD. However, the current city was founded by the Moors between 1100 and 1200 AD, when Andalusia was under Islamic rule. That is why the history of Setenil cannot be separated from the presence of Islam in the Iberian Peninsula. After the Muslim conquest of Visigothic Hispania in the 8th century, the region now known as Spain was under the rule of various Muslim dynasties for almost 8 centuries, This period, known as Al-Andalus, presented remarkable cultural, scientific, and artistic developments, with cities like Córdoba, Seville, and Granada becoming important centers of learning and trade. Islam entered Setenil along with the conquest of Spain during the period of Islamic rule. Setenil developed into a very prosperous city, becoming one of the parts of the Kingdom of Granada, which was the last Islamic kingdom in the region of Spain. Agriculture, particularly olive and grape cultivation, became the backbone of Setenil's economy. The sophisticated irrigation system introduced by the Moors enabled the inhabitants to utilize water resources efficiently and increase crop yields. The society of Setenil at that time consisted of various ethnic and religious groups, including Christians and Jews, who lived side by side and interacted in cultural development. However, in the 15th century, the wave of Reconquista led by Christians ended Islamic rule in Spain. In 1484, the city fell into the hands of Christian forces after a 15-day siege. Granada fell to Christian forces led by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel in 1492. This marked the end of Islamic rule in Spain. After that, the process of expulsion of Muslim and Jewish inhabitants who refused to convert to Christianity began. The conquest of Setenil marked the end of Islamic rule in the city. Christianity and Islamic culture were gradually replaced by Christian culture. Although Islamic rule in Setenil ended in the 15th century, their cultural and architectural legacy remains alive today. Unique houses built under rocks, irrigation systems, and some fortress ruins bear witness to the Islamic past of the city. Although the city is no longer inhabited by Muslims, Setenil still preserves some Islamic relics that can be seen today. One of them is the Setenil Mosque, which is the oldest mosque in the city. The mosque was built in the 13th century by Sultan Muhammad I of Granada. The mosque was later converted into a church by Christians, but still retains some Islamic architectural elements, such as the mihrab, large dome, tall minaret, and geometric decorations with intricate carvings and calligraphy. In addition, the city also has several other historical buildings with Islamic features, such as fortresses, palaces, and traditional houses. The Setenil fortress was built in the 11th century by the Zirid dynasty, one of the Berber dynasties that ruled Granada. The fortress has an architecture that combines Islamic and Christian styles and offers a beautiful view of the city and surrounding mountains.